Hello and welcome to In Our House. And today you can see we've got a few pictures up from last episode because some people rightly said that our walls were a little bit bare.
A viewer called Neve sent us a lovely throwover to decorate our living room.
Well, it is a throwover.
Now, we're always being told we need to look after the environment.
The City Council has launched a number of schemes aimed at reducing traffic on our roads by encouraging people to cycle. Very few people cycle to work in the city, and the council hopes that 5% of all those trips will be made by bicycle by the year 2023.
If that happens, Birmingham will be a greener, safer and less congested place. So the question is, would you like to cycle around the city?
I wouldn't. I think it's just too dangerous.
But I will because I used to cycle to school but I don't anymore.
A number of initiatives have been set up to encourage people to take up cycling. Last year, the city launched a scheme to encourage people to use Canal towpaths.
Why do you think it's important to encourage people to cycle?
I think there's a lot of different reasons. Partly it's about health. Currently around about a quarter of children in the city are obese and about 40% of them are overweight. That's really important to get that right for people's health all through their lives. It's also about the environment. We've got to get down our carbon emissions, we've got to start moving people out of the cars and onto the bikes because it's much more sustainable. It's also about cheaper alternatives for people. So it's about saving people money, being better for the environment and being healthier. You put all those three things together and you get a better, more livable city for everybody.
Why do you encourage people to ride on the canal and not the road?
The canal routes are a really great legacy that we've got in Birmingham from our industrial heritage. And they run right into the city centre, so they're a really easy off-road way of people getting into the city centre. Not everyone will be confident about cycling on the main roads. When I cycle into work, I'm happy to cycle down the Happy Road, but not everyone is happy to do that. And so it's about providing lots of different ways that people can cycle around the city. Some people might want to cycle for leisure, some people might want to get straight to work in the morning. And so it's about there being different choices for people, and the canals and the off-road network is an important part of that choice.
Let's reflect share TNT News on the canal.
Cycling in mainland Europe is much more popular than it is here. We've been to Amsterdam in the Netherlands,
Malmo in Sweden,
And Copenhagen in Denmark.
To see what happens in those cities. In Malmo, there are examples of things that Birmingham could do. Cyclists are provided with wide cycle paths and dedicated lanes. Apartment blocks along the cycle paths have large bicycle stores and racks which seem to be very popular. There are many places where cyclists can stop to do repairs and pump up tyres. Indicators register the number of cyclists that pass certain points.
Amsterdam has plans to create even more cycle lanes and construct 38,000 new parking racks. Perhaps then you'll be able to find your bike.
I did have a bike. I can't remember where I put it.
This is Jake Anderson in Amsterdam, now over to Norman in Copenhagen.
And this is Queen Louise's Bridge in the centre of Copenhagen. And it's estimated that about 35,000 people cycle across this bridge during the morning rush hour, making it the busiest cycling spot in Western Europe. 40% of the population use bikes to get to work every morning.
Clearly some good ideas that Birmingham could adopt. If you cycle in the city, let us know of your experiences.
I'm in Centenary Square, and beneath me are lots of coloured bricks.
Actually, they're called Pave Wars.
Oh, sorry.
So how many Pave Wars are there then?
501, 502, 503, 504. Oh no, I've lost count now. Well, actually, there's 525,000 of them.
I didn't know that.
This week's mystery picture. Any ideas?
Well, it's got that sign there.
And it's got a W here.
Any more clues?
There's one more.
But it might help if you turn it the right way around first. I have no idea what this is.
Well, you'll find out after this. Wow, this week's mystery picture is the Winton Shopping Centre in Cape Hill.
Now, believe it or not, the 17th of March is Submarine Day. And on that date, in 1898, an Irish engineer called John Holland first successfully demonstrated the submarine.
So that's why it's called Submarine Day. But that won't go down very well with landlocked Brum.
Last year, TNT visited the Netherlands to discuss a link between a Brummie submariner and a Dutch submarine, which sank off the coast of Norway in 1940.
Confused? We'll let Jake and Roberto explain.
I'm Commander Spoelstra of the Royal Dutch Navy and you're watching TNT News.
Hello and welcome to Den Helder, the submarine base of the Dutch Navy. We're here to commemorate the lives of 34 crewmen which were on the O13, who were lost when a sub was sunk off the coast of Norway in 1940.
And the O13 list includes James Pettigrew. James from Monument Road, Ladywood in Birmingham was one of 3 British men who were on board. They were involved in translating signals between the British and Dutch Navy. Some of James's surviving relatives are amongst 260 guests that are here today.
James Pettigrew's submarine was called O13. O is for undersea boot, the Dutch name for submarine.
Submarine officers and enlisted crew are still on patrol in the deep. All of them had the courage of the highest order. They fought against tyranny. They showed bravery and they gave our generation a better world. We will never forget.
Special guest was 98-year-old Pete de Jong, who was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross of the United Kingdom for his services and leadership on the submarines during World War II, and he also served as a Prime Minister of the Netherlands for 4 years until July 1971.
The guests were taken on board a frigate called the 7th Province. She went into service in April 2002 at a cost of around 600 million euros. It can travel at around 30 knots, that's about 35 miles per hour, and can carry a crew of 30 officers and around 200 ratings.
My name's Lieutenant Colonel Jerry Slack and I'm the Royal Marines Exchange Officer over here in Den Helder, so I work with the Dutch Navy and the Dutch Marines.
And why did you come here today?
I came here today to represent the British government and also the Defence Attaché on behalf of this ceremony, for Oscar 13. So just for UK representation.
What did you like about the ceremony?
I thought what they put on today was absolutely fantastic. Actually the ceremony down at the wharf, watching the submarine go to sea, putting a submarine and a frigate to sea as well, and actually making the submarine dive and putting this all together is fantastic. It's good for the families as well.
A modern submarine, Brumvis, The name translates as brown fish or porpoise sail the longest. Brumvis carries a crew of up to 55 men.
Could be away for years, operating from Surabaya in the Dutch Indies or from Willemstad in the Caribbean.
Out at sea, there was a reef-laying ceremony to remember the 34 crewmen from the O13.
This is what the Spettigue relations thought of the ceremony.
I thought it was very moving, very touching. We feel honoured to be here.
Well, I'm Jimmy's nephew. I'm very pleased to be here. Very proud of my uncle. We've had a wonderful time here. The Dutch people have looked after us extremely well.
Jimmy Spettigue was my great uncle. And it feels really important to be here today, particularly on behalf of my grandmother Dorothy Spettigue, who was Jimmy's sister. We remember her saying that he was her favourite brother, so it's nice to represent the family and be at such an important event such as today.
Well, I think absolutely great the way the Dutch Navy have looked after us, and we feel really privileged to be here and really touched.
It's very emotional day.
And very proud.
This is TNT News International.
On the North Sea.
With the Dutch Navy.
To do the interview. You are?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Roberto, and what do you do and what's your name?
My name is Jouke Spoelstra. I'm a commander in the Netherlands Navy. I'm working for the submarine service, and my special job is project leader also for the search for the submarine 013. And my normal job in the submarine service is taking care of the in-service support of submarines, so make the submarines go to sea at the right time for the right number of days in the year, and to keep submarines safe.
I see you got a knighthood there. How did you get that?
Oh, that was amongst other things also for the project of 013, but it's for the general work in the submarine service, the general work in the Navy, and for volunteer jobs like 013, and so a lot of work, all to do with ships.
The whole event was filmed for a major documentary that will include coverage of the undersea search for the wreck. It is being coordinated by a man called Wilke.
With divers and try to make an identification, and only if they are sure and they look for the hatches on the deck, and they look for all sorts of things they know about the wreck. That process can take up to 4 to 6 weeks, and only if they know for sure, and then they will communicate to the rest of the world that they found it. Then they are going to, before that they are going to inform, of course, relatives before everybody has got to know it. Our project includes three chapters. First chapter is, of course, the mystery, what happened. We spoke to a lot of historians in Germany, in the Netherlands, in Scotland, trying to put all those pieces together and find out what really happened. But we should only know when they find the wreck, of course. The second chapter is the relatives, their stories, the sisters, the brothers, the sons, children, grandchildren. And the third chapter is actually the expedition itself. These three stories we intercut into one documentary.
TNT hope to include extracts from that documentary in a future programme.
Quite remarkable story, but now for a change of pace because it's joke time!
Why was 6 scared of 7?
I don't know. Why was 6 scared of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
What is a prickly pear? 2 hedgehogs.
Why did the toilet roll down the hill?
I don't know. Why did the toilet roll down the hill?
Because it wanted to get to the bottom.
Boom boom. Why was the tomato blushing? Because it saw the salad dressing.
Why did the librarian fall over in the library?
Because she strayed into the non-friction section. Doctor, doctor, I feel like a pair of curtains. So pull yourself together, man.
What vegetable jumps the highest? A spring onion.
Teacher said, what book did you read? And the pupil said, Black Beauty. And the teacher said, what was it about? And the pupil said, about 120 pages. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
Dishes the police. Now open up.
Why did the robber have a bath before he robbed the bank?
No idea.
To get a clean getaway.
Now it's time for another memory minute.
This one, Lizzie Dipple, her name was. She got herself, fancied herself she could swim. She gets up into the deep end, of course. Down she goes. Well, one of the girls with us, we call the prefect, she goes in the water to help to get her out, and she's pulling her down then. So Miss Baggs, that was our teacher, she was a flash teacher and all, always dressed nice. Miss Baggs was there, and she dived in, clothes and all, and she loosed them, and she fetched Lizzie Dipple out because the other could get herself out. And then, of course, Miss Baggs would go all dripping wet, and there was girls, they were getting dressed, and they were running home to see what they could get off their mothers for Miss Baggs to dress in. And the first time I went in the deep, when she could see you could swim, she said, now you come and try up in the deep end. So she used to have a long pole with a big loop on, and she put this loop over you, and then you used to go into the water and start swimming, but she got this loop round you in case you should go down, but she wanted to see you could swim. And that's how the first time I went in the deep end, on the end of this stick in the rope. So I was all right swimming.
Our next program will be looking at World War I and finding out how people are making the subject interesting and relevant to youngsters of our age. After all, it was 100 years ago. We've been to talk to people who have had medals awarded to relatives, visited exhibitions about Birmingham in the war, and have been to France, Belgium and the Western Front to find out what happened to local people. If you have a story to tell us about the local people who lived through World War I, please get in touch and you could be a part of our series. West Midlands at War starts next week.
Now for some more bad signs. This place is under new management. Perhaps we should let the management know. Now here's another bad sign. This one's at the post office.
Perhaps it's because the pens and pencils don't move.
Stationery with an I is where things don't move, and stationery with an E is pens and pencils.
That's just in case you didn't know.
You're watching In Our House from TNT.
And now, more news.
World Book Day was celebrated on the 5th of March, and it is the 18th time the event has been held. The main aim is to encourage youngsters to explore the pleasures of books and reading by providing them with the opportunity to have a book of their own. Schools had the chance to meet authors and pupils across the West Midlands dressed up like their favourite characters from books they have read. Book Day in England is held on the first Thursday in March, but other countries choose the 23rd of April, Shakespeare's birthday. But this often clashes with school holidays, so the date is brought forward.
Sorry. You may not always think so. I don't know.
I'm Jane Eyre. I'm a Victorian schoolgirl. I can't really afford anything really, so please take me in if you can. Did I just see someone put something in the bin for me?
I'm Little Red Riding Hood, and I make pies for all of your old grandmas, but beware of the big bad wolf. The name's Bond, James Bond, and I fight crime.
I'm Karate Kid. You want to go?
The name's Cleopatra. I rule Egypt. Well, I used to. If you don't listen to me, then I'll seize you!
I'm Batman and I fight the crime for Gotham City. I'm a skeleton and I show inside your body. Which one's your favourite part?
Hi, and I'm Florence Nightingale, and I help to keep some of your relatives alive.
I'm the Queen of Hearts, and I rule all over Wonderland. Did you eat my tart? Because if you did, off with your head!
My name is Minion and I like to eat bananas. Track the bass. Banana, 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 banana. I'm Dennis the Menace. I chose this character because he's a little bit funny too. For World Book Day, I've chosen to be one of the Queen of Hearts guards from Alice in Wonderland, because Alice in Wonderland is a great book. Yay! I am Mr. Bump because he is very clumsy and so am I. I came with Charlotte from Charlotte's Web because my favourite animal is a pig, and there's a pig in the book.
I'm the old lady who lived in a shoe. I've come as this for World Book Day because I like that book.
Yay! For World Book Day, I came as Robin Hood because I think it's a really good book and I really like it.
I came as Jane Seymour because I like reading about King Henry VIII and his wives. And I like reading about her life. I'm dressed as Belle from the book Beauty and the Beast because I like that story. And at the end, the Beast becomes a human again.
Opened in the Library of Birmingham in 2013, Malala Yousafzai had some great things to say about books and the importance of reading.
Hello and welcome to the new Library of Birmingham.
And ladies and gentlemen, will you please give a warm welcome to Malala Yousafzai.
Honourable and distinguished guests and fellow Broomies. Pens and books are the weapons that defeat terrorism.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Malala to unveil the plaque.
This is when the people can come into the new Library of Birmingham for the first time. I think this building has the wow factor, but what do you think? Let us know.
Now, this weekend is the big St Patrick's Day Parade in Birmingham.
If you have never been wanted before, this is what you should expect.
The theme this year is gathering. The idea is to increase tourism for people to go to Ireland. These floats show methods of transport that you can use.
These are the methods of transport and let's go!
They say there's going to be a crowd of 85,000 people here.
Happy St Patrick's Day! Great. Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Sorry, but that's all we had time for in this edition of In Our House.
So please send in your comments.
And in the meantime, thanks for watching.